So, I want to thank everyone for joining me on this lovely Friday morning. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to come and listen to me talk, come and spend some time with us. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about monitoring and logging ambient conditions with environmental sensors. That's a mouthful, and I'm going to get into what that means in practical terms in just a second here. Let's go over our agenda for today. So we're going to talk about the types of sensors that we have available, and sensor modules. Specifically, we're going to look at the specs of our DL, CL, and ISN modules, and we're going to look at what is new in those families, because we have had a lot of expansion over the last year or two, and I want to show you what's new. And we'll talk about some product applications. We'll talk about the DL300 software and our mobile phone app. Then we'll get into our Q&A session here. I've got Steve from our tech department. He's an application engineer, and he will be able to answer some of your more technical questions. And then at the very end, we will get to our raffle. So if you want to be eligible for the raffle, please stay until the very end. A little bit about ICP DAS USA. If this is your first time joining us, we were founded in 1993. Our headquarters is located in Hsinchu, Taiwan. ICP DAS USA was founded in 2001 to support the North and South American markets. We have over 100 software and hardware engineers that provide new products and the best solutions for our customers. We are ISO 9001 certified here in the States, SGS certified in the UK, and our products are RoHS compliant, meaning they are lead-free. So what do I mean when we say environmental sensors? It's a term that we have come up with that we think best describes an array of sensor modules that detect ambient environmental conditions like temperature and humidity, but also particulate concentrations, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and a bunch of other harmful gases. So in our parlance, an environmental sensor is a sensor that detects ambient conditions related to the environment, as opposed to a sensor that monitors mechanical functions. And what specifically do our sensors measure? Let's get into the specifics just a little bit. We have a wide array of sensors to choose from, and modules that offer quite a few combinations of these sensors. So let's take a look at our selection table here. So our modules detect combinations of PM 2.5, PM2.5, PM1, PM10, etc. Those are measures of airborne particulate, and specifically they measure airborne pollution. So PM2.5 and PM1, we'll get into this a little bit later, refers to the size of particles, and the sensors measure airborne particulate. The sensors measure the volume of particulate of that size, and that's one way of measuring airborne pollution that isn't, say, CO or CO2 or another harmful gas. Can measure liquids and solids, so like dust, but also aerosols at a particular size, and measures the volume of those particles. Let's see. We also measure, as mentioned, concentration of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. We also measure NH3 and H2S, HCHO, TVOC. We also have liquid leakage detecting modules. We also have new modules which measure illuminance in lux. And we also have temperature and humidity in both relative humidity and dew point. And you can use this table to see which series possesses which sensors. So we also offer an array of communication methods for our sensors. As you can see in this table, the main or the most popular are RS-232/RS-45 and Ethernet. We also have a couple wireless options, including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Zigbee. And then a couple different protocol protocol options. So we have the Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, and DCOM. Those are our standard, our most popular industrial protocols. We also have MQTT, which I gave an entire webinar on last month. So if you're interested in the applications of MQTT, that's message queuing, telemetry, transport. It's an IoT messaging protocol, and it has a lot of applications in home and building automation, but also for industrial automation applications. So if you're more interested in that, I'd be very happy to send you a link to where you can see a recording of last month's webinar. Finally, on the table, we have the LCD display. That'd be the DL100, DL300 series, include a live display, so your operators can get live readings right there on site, and then the DL100, CL200, DL300, and DL1000 series are a data logging module. In fact, all of these that we're going to be talking about today are data loggers. We're going to be talking about the ISN series, which are just the sensor, and the DL10 series we're not going to be talking about today because it is just an RS-485 sensor. And I already have a request for the MQTT webinar link. Very happy to send you that at the end. I do ask that you hold your questions until the Q&A session at the very end. If you think of one, please feel free to type it into the Q&A box instead of the chat box, and we'll get to that at the end. Thank you. So the first group of products we're going to be talking about is the DL100 series. So the DL100 series of data logger devices can be used to record temperature, humidity, and dew point information, and it includes a date and time stamp for each record, and can store up to 600,000 downloadable records. So these are one of our data logging modules. Real-time data can be accessed from the DL100 from a discrete controller or controls network, or just any standard PC using the DL300 utility. Or, as you can see in the little diagram, you can use our iAir mobile phone app. So as long as your phone is connected to the same LAN as the data logger, you can use the app to get live readings from the data logging module. So quite a useful little module. The DL100 series supports Modbus TCP, Modbus RTU, MQTT, and Zigbee in the Zigbee versions. A wide range of communication options means the devices can be easily integrated with existing HMIs to display and log your data, or SCADA systems, ensuring easy maintenance in a distributed control system. And let's just go ahead and look at what's new with the DL100 series, because we have been offering these for quite a while. And I want to draw your attention to the DL100 series. This is the IP66 version of the DL100E. That's our Ethernet data logging module. And this is designed for industrial applications in harsh environments. Provides IP66 grade protection. So what the IP66? So what does the IP66 rating mean? So that means that the module itself is dust tight. It's also projected from jets of water in the way they test the IP66 ratings. They do shoot a very powerful jet of water at the enclosure, and the electronics inside are safe. So these modules are safe from anything except full immersion in water. So very useful in an agricultural application where they're in danger of getting sprayed by sprinklers or hoses. And the application that we see these used in most is a commercial greenhouse application, which again is going to be a very damp and wet environment. So these are absolutely perfect for that application. But the IP66 the IP66 enclosure and the ruggedized RJ45 connectors that you can see on the side ensures a tight, robust connection and guarantees reliable operation, even in applications where the module would be subject to high vibration and shock. So these are a very tough module. Let's move on to our CL200 series, though. So these are what we call our air quality monitoring modules, and they can be used to record carbon. Okay, it's a lot of different sensors here. So we have a carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, formaldehyde, total volatile organic compounds, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, as well as temperature, relative humidity, and dew point information. So it will log from a variety of those sensors and include date and timestamps, and these are able to store up to 450,000 downloadable records. These modules communicate wired and wirelessly with Ethernet, RS-45, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. Many of these modules offer a combination of communication methods. The CL210WF, for instance, offers RS-45, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet with PoE. These modules are a great choice for a warehouse, fossil fuel refining facility, or parking garage, anywhere where everyday operations have the potential to create airborne pollutants or airborne particulate or gases. The plethora of communication methods make these modules easy to integrate with your existing SCADA or building management system. The availability of PoE on these modules also means that you can put them in hard-to-reach places without having to worry about running a power line to them. And if you want to know more about workplace air quality monitoring, and specifically the CL200 series, I did a webinar on it last year, so just contact me and I can send you the link to that as well. So let's see what we have new in the CL200 series. A minor update to the CL210E modules. These are the Ethernet versions of the CL210. What this does is it adds, they now include a replaceable filter on their particulate sensor. And you can imagine that when you're measuring air pollution, the sensors get clogged or dirty. The new replaceable filter allows you to pop that old filter out and pop the new filter in without having to remove the module from wherever you've installed it. It just makes maintenance a little bit easier. And one of the biggest developments we've had recently is the introduction of our DL1000 series. The DL1000 series is a new series of products that combines many of the sensors we've talked about already. So all modules come with RS-45 and PoE Ethernet ports, and the WF versions include Wi-Fi as well. The module includes onboard web-based configuration pages that make setup easy. These modules can store up to 180,000 sensor readings with date and timestamp. And as always, you can use the DL300 utility to upload logs and view live data from your PC, or you can use the mobile phone app on the local area network as you would with the DL100 or DL300 series. These modules also include a relay output for alarm or IAQ device control. And the DL1000 series is a series of particle and gas measurement module that can measure the concentration of aerosols in the air, such as PM2.5, PM1, and PM10. And it combines that with a bunch of different types of gas sensors. As you can see, hopefully you can see in the diagram here, these diagrams that explain our part numbers are very useful for understanding all the features that it includes. But it includes a particulate matter sensor along with a combination of gas sensors as well, from the ones that we've mentioned before. It also includes a relay output channel, so you can use it to control a visual or audible alarm. So say if the concentration of any of these particulate or gases becomes too high, you just trigger an alarm and you can get your employees to safety. And as always, the variety of communication methods make it easy to integrate with your existing HMIs and your existing SCADA or building automation system. The DL1000 series is designed for industrial applications in rough environments and provides an IP43 grade protection, so not as watertight as the IP66 rated DL100 series, but still pretty rugged. And it also includes the ruggedized RJ45 connector to ensure a good connection. All right, the last family that I want to talk about is the ISN series, and I've talked about these at length in a previous webinar, so I won't go into too much detail, but these are our liquid leak detection modules. They're a low-cost, intelligent liquid leak detection device that can be used to directly control a relay output. And some of the modules include an audible alarm, I believe. But these speak over RS-45 with Modbus RTU and Decon, they come with different lengths of sensor cables, and the sensor cable is just what it sounds like. It's a long cable, and if it detects moisture, it shuts off the current, or that interrupts the current, which trips the module, which you can then send that data back to the control center, or you can trip the alarm through the relay output. But what's new in the ISN series is the ISN 200 modules. So these can be used for measuring indoor illumination, temperature, and humidity. A wide range of interface connections can be selected to suit the needs of your application, including RS-485, Ethernet, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. The various modules provide support for Decon, Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, and can be easily integrated into existing HMI, SCADA building control systems. The screw-free Quick Connect connector and the dip and rotary switches make the modules easy to install, repair, and maintain, and the white minimalist exterior design ensures that it is easy to match with your interior decoration. So this measures lux, temperature, and humidity, and you can imagine that it has a number of applications in building automation, and in fact we will talk about one of those in just a second. But let's look into an application for our DL100 and DL300 series. So, like I said, the application that we see these in the most is a commercial greenhouse application, and so you can group these modules into zones and get humidity and temperature readings from each zone. And the LCD display is especially useful for your on-site operators, the greenhouse employees, to just get a quick reading of what the temperature is in that area, or what the relative humidity is in that zone. And when you connect it to the building control system, you can use it to trigger ventilation, to trigger heating and cooling units, lighting. These are going to be the what's the word that I'm looking for? These are going to be the little foot soldiers in your greenhouse control system that are going out and doing the dirty work. So let's move on to another couple applications for our DL1000 series. As you can see in the diagram on the right, in this application, the DL1000 is used as part of a sensor package in a smart streetlight application as part of a citywide or an area-wide air quality monitoring and alert system. The module is constantly taking particulate, CO, and CO2 readings at the street level. One of our WISE modules polls the module and sends the data back to a cloud-based SCADA system running our IoT Star platform, and you can use this to manage air quality messages on billboards on the street, or you can monitor air quality conditions in different zones throughout the city from a central control center. On the left, we have a factory hydrogen sulfide alert system. So in some industries, such as oil and gas refining, mining, and pulp and paper processing, H2S, or hydrogen sulfide, can be a harmful side effect of regular operations. This is a colorless, odorless gas, which makes it a danger to your employees and can cause serious injury in high enough concentrations. So again, one of our WISE modules, which is a controller, like a PAC, a programmable automation controller. It pulls the DL1000, and using the logic controls on the WISE, you can send out a yellow alert at a certain concentration, say a red alert at another concentration. You can also use the relay output on the DL1000 to trigger an audible or visual alarm. You can display live readings on an HMI, an industrial PC, industrial touchscreen, or an LED display, and as always, you can log data from the control station. So I've spoken about the software utility and the iAir app a little bit, so I just want to touch on those again. Real-time data from your DL100, DL300, and DL1000 series data loggers can be accessed from anywhere on the network using the DL300 utility. It just runs on Windows PCs. And of course, you can use our Android or iOS mobile phone app, or with the DL1000 or with the Ethernet modules, you can just use a regular web browser. You can, like I said, as long as you're controlled to the LAN, as long as you're connected to the same LAN, you just point it at the module's IP address, and you can get readings and access configurations just from off the module itself. So the DL300 utility can be used to configure the modules. You can monitor real-time data. You can group the modules together so that the status of distribution groups can be viewed and managed. The utility also allows the logged data to be downloaded and exported to a CSV file that you can import into any industry standard software or spreadsheet for analysis. And the iAir app is available through Google Play, and I believe on the iTunes Store. It's published by ICP DAS. That's our, that's us. That's our parent company. And yes, that can give you a live reading from any of the modules on the same local area network right from your cell phone. And we'll touch on some further application examples. At the top right is that diagram from the ISN201. So a great use for the ISN201 is to program your lighting schedules based on live readings based on illuminance, temperature, and humidity. You can raise and lower the shutters. You can trigger lighting cues based on the light that's coming in. So you have morning, noon, and dusk, say, different lighting schedules for a library, a restaurant, or another large building. And you can trigger those based on live readings instead of just having to do a schedule. On the left, we see another street level air quality monitoring application using the DL1000, which is pretty much the same as the one we mentioned before, but here it's sending the information, live readings directly to one of our ICANN displays, which is an industrial LED scrolling display, so you can get live readings at programmed intervals directly from the module. And at the very bottom, we have a parking garage application for our DL200 series, and just in measuring carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide concentrations at different parts of the parking garage, and sending it back to the central control system or triggering alarms from the modules, because some of those do have the relay output. But that's about it for applications, and we talked about a lot of different products today, so I'd just like to give you a quick summary. So the DL100 and DL300 series, these are for reading outdoor temperature and humidity sensors. It also includes CO and CO2 sensors, perfect for greenhouse, garden, agriculture, and food and beverage transportation situations. The IP66 versions are perfect for your wet and humid environments. The LCD display and the color display on the DL300 make these a perfect choice for a commercial greenhouse or a nursery, anywhere where your operators are going to need a quick glance, a quick idea of what's going on at different parts of the operation. So the DL200 series has our air quality monitors for a parking garage, gas refinery, or any industrial application where air quality monitoring is going to be vital to customer or employee safety. A wide variety of communication methods, RS-45, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi make these very handy and easy to use modules. So the ISN 100 and 200 series, those are the 100 is our liquid leak detection modules. The 200, as you see below, is the illuminance, temperature, and humidity sensor. And then, of course, we talked about our DL1000 series at some length, which I like to think of as the Cadillac of the DL series, provides the biggest combination of sensors and communication methods, all in a durable housing. Oh, I want to thank you for joining me today. Just remind you to never take employee safety and health for granted. Air quality monitoring is always a good idea and is required by OSHA in some industries. Let's move into our Q&A session now. I want to thank you for joining me, and if you have any questions, go ahead and... Well, first thing we'll do is we'll get Steve on the line. He should be here already, and we will answer any... Hello, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.